Hello, how are you all? I really appreciate this beautiful weather coming in. Spring is here, summer is nearing, and people are graduating. My daughter is a senior, soon to graduate in about 2 weeks. Oh, time flies. For the month of May, it is really busy for my interpretation schedule. I have so many appointments. I feel I'm rushing into so many things like doctor's appointments, class. I want to complete those things before the summer. My schedule seems to be really packed typically, but besides that, I want to bring up a topic up for discussion relating to interpreters' eye gaze. I typically notice what happens is me, the interpreter, during interpretation has a tendency to shift their eyes. Like if there's a screen behind or if there's a person presenting, having some type of screen on the side to refer to, or in this specific vlog, I want to focus on medical situations, like having a computer screen off into the corner. And now more often, doctors' offices have you must have like a electronic record. Typically, most oftentimes, doctors' office, dentists, they typically have been transferring all documentation into computer charts for patients. During interpretation, what's natural, a tendency is to look at that chart, to be able to refer to it during neutral time. For example, like during interpretation, you'll be occupied, but during break, like during rest time or break time, there's a tendency to shift your eyes to that screen because hearing people typically look at that screen, right? So the eyes shift while you're waiting, while the doctor's typing, and then the eyes will shift back to the patient, and then there will be a dialogue of back and forth. But understand that deaf people or deaf patients have a tendency, or not a tendency, but they may not appreciate that, or they may become upset because an interpreter is looking at or they feel that an interpreter is looking at their private information. So perhaps they're being nosy, or just, they might feel like, stop, that's my personal information. So understand that sometimes we'll look at that form with a list of medications, because sometimes there are, funny spellings or like really big words. So sometimes it's easier to know how to refer to that for spelling, right? So it is tempting to look at it, to refer to it, to see how it's spelled. But typically you can tell the deaf person to, you can move the screen and have the deaf person look at it to be like, do you understand? Are you still taking these medications, or do you need to remove them and adjust them? So you can have them refer to that screen. But now I'm more aware of maybe that person themselves could be sensitive and they don't want the interpreter referring to that, and they just want them to, but typically we're being neutral, we're just looking at it, and there's just small print, small font, and really I can't read it from far, so I'm not reading it.